Wow, what an action-packed episode. I think we're still reeling from some of those great fight scenes in this episode for Vanderpump Rules. We're going to be talking about the Sociopath Test episode right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I wish I had a glass of alcohol to raise right now because I'm feeling like, woo!
Well, let's pretend.
Let's pretend. Cheers! Hey guys, it's Megan Stecker here again tonight. And a few people have left us for the holidays already, but who am I still here with?
I am Matthew Evan Payne, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Matthew E. Payne.
And you guys can tweet me at Megan Stecker. Or Snapchat or Instagram, whatever you pick your poison.
You're fun to follow.
I am.
Yeah, you are.
Oh my God, why?
I like red carpet shots and the
thanks.
as you would say, the tea.
The tea. Oh
Yeah.
my God. So speaking of red carpets, I was so pissed. So my phone has like the Apple recall situation where it needs the battery replaced because it shouldn't be dying all the time, and it's dying all the time. So I have plenty of battery on the red carpet on Saturday night.
Yeah.
James Franco finally shows up, and my phone dies the second I turn on Snapchat.
No.
And it wouldn't turn back on. It kept just giving me that flashing thing where it wants you to plug it back in. That symbol for like, nope, plug it back in.
Yeah, the you're screwed symbol.
Yeah, and so I get to the car after the thing is over, and I have no documentation of being there. And I plug it in, and it's like 55%. Like, F you, Apple.
Oh, way to go. Yeah.
2016's been a rough year, guys.
Just about a week and a half left.
Thank God.
Yeah.
It was a tough day for the world. Gotta
Yes.
say, I'm a little, and our country. So I gotta say, I'm a little nervous.
And you're not talking about Vanderpump Rules.
And I'm not even talking about Vanderpump Rules. But let's talk about Vanderpump Rules.
Let's take our mind off of it and talk about Vanderpump Rules.
Exactly, because things were rough for Sheena tonight, I gotta say. For everybody. Everybody had a lot of feelings this week. A lot of feelings.
So we normally sit outside of this studio and we watch the episode right before we come in here.
Right.
And I was sitting on a stool watching the episode, and I was standing up, I was sitting down, I was standing up again. There was a lot of emotion going on tonight.
I miss being able to watch it with you. So I, a couple weeks ago, started covering another show. So what I do is come early, watch Vanderpump Rules, which is airing live at the time that I'm watching it. I rush into the studio, do a different show, and then I rush into this studio and do Vanderpump. So I'm not able to watch with you anymore and share like comments or see what you got excited about.
Sometimes we pause it, we just exchange
we
a
pause
glance.
it and have to talk about things. So it's kind of like we're doing that on air tonight, right now.
Right. You came out to me right before this episode started, this live show, and said, "What did you think of tonight's episode?" I said, "I'm saving it until we get in the room."
So here we go.
There was a lot. Tonight was action-packed,
good,
drama-filled.
I have a question. Is James now no longer on the show? Because I read that on the internet somewhere this week that because he got fired. No, because he was in the promo for next week.
And I believe he was still in the starting.
Okay, so wherever I read that on the internet, I was wrong. Like I knew it was.
Although I think the season that Stassi left early, she left a season early, didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely been in and out of the last few.
I think that she was still in the starting for the season that she left midway through, but then wasn't in the starting the season that she wasn't.
Oh, was James in the open
Yeah,
still?
he was.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but which doesn't mean anything.
I mean, I think he's still going to be on the show for the rest of the season, but because he's not employed there, it might be sparingly, you know?
That's right. Yeah, but, well, I guess you might be right, because I feel like we're seeing Kristen less and less as the episodes. I mean, she wasn't in last week's at all.
She doesn't really have like a drama-filled storyline in that it usually involves her love life or something, and she or the girl is not getting along. So the girls are actually all getting along this year, and she also has a great relationship right now.
Right.
So, you know, that means less Kristen, you know?
Right. If you are happy, that equates to you are boring, I think, in reality TV land.
Right. I remember Kim will say on The Kardashians every now and then, you know, this settled down life with like a stable relationship and kids is really like chill. You guys should try it.
Right.
She'll say like smart ass stuff like that to her sisters.
Yeah.
So it's true. It's like you'll be on the show less if nothing wild is going on.
I was surprised. I know I wasn't here last week. I was back home in Boston, and I could not believe that she wasn't in last week's episode, the Pride episode.
Oh, yeah. And also, I was like, why wasn't Scheana? It wasn't explained at all why she wasn't at work that day. And my theory was that there weren't enough camera crews to cover everybody.
I don't know why Scheana wasn't there. I do know that they all filmed that day, though, because that day I went to Kristen and Carter's apartment with Rachel and Scheana.
Okay. This is FYI, guys. This is your AfterBuzz exclusive.
It wasn't as juicy.
We have a reporter in the field.
It wasn't as...
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
There we go. Yeah, me too. I've never heard that one before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
That one's fun. No, I went to Kristen and Carter's apartment. Carter was not there, and it was me, Carter... I'm sorry. It was me, Kristen, Rachel, and Scheana.
Okay.
And I know that they had all filmed that day, and I knew that they had... You know how they did they did Stassi and Tom and Katie?
Yeah. And then like Lala and James.
Right. They did something similar, I guess, with the girls. I don't know whose apartment it was at, but I know that they had done filming that day.
Okay.
So I guess it just didn't make the final cut of the episode because we didn't see them. But I knew that they filmed Pride Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Yep.
Kicking off the episode, we do have Scheana kind of give a little explanation for why she wasn't there. She said she wasn't comfortable going into work that day, so she didn't. Also, Britt brings up that she's got to deal with Lala at Ariana's party. Now, I wasn't aware that there was really any lingering beef between them, but I guess once... Lala had put in last season when she put it all out on the table, like, Jax said he was trying to F me.
Right.
Like, things are probably weird between them.
I would imagine. I would imagine Brittany not wanting to.
Right. Like, if you're going to stand by your man, you kind of don't want that girl around. It's going to feel weird forever.
Right.
Whether you believe her or don't believe her, it's not, either way, you don't want that energy.
The proof was in the pudding, though. Last season. I mean, we
had
the footage of Jax saying it.
Correct. So now she was able to see what did and didn't transpire, and it's got to be weird. Like, you don't want that reminder, I guess.
I wonder if, because last season Brittany apologized. I'm sorry, last season. I wonder if Brittany ever apologized to Lala, is what I'm trying to say. Because Brittany didn't believe, she sided with Jax. She believed that Jax didn't say it, right?
I can't really remember what she said in that moment where Lala was kind of freaking out when they were all on vacation. But
she was like, you said it.
Yeah, it wasn't, I definitely don't think she was like, Lala, it's okay, I believe you. Like, that wasn't said.
No.
For sure.
I like your little Southern accent.
Okay, the only accent on earth I can do is a Southern accent. And speaking of all this, Scheana says she hasn't been invited to Ariana's party. So she thinks it's because she's going to Stassi's birthday.
That's right.
Okay.
I feel like they're not doing a great job of explaining everything going on this season. Like, I think they're just I think they're not the talent.
The editing, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. As in what way?
Well, for instance, I wrote, when did Scheana and Ariana make up? Because they were on the outs last season
at the reunion.
Right. And
there was a moment tonight where she said, now that Ariana and I are getting along again.
Right, which is why I wrote it. But getting along, but I thought it was...
But did we ever
see them make up?
Didn't they have a sit down we saw? Where they made a conscious decision to... I could be making this up.
I don't remember.
After watching CNN all day and watching, people get assassinated on TV, my mind's a little fuzzy on the reality TV stuff.
I hear you.
So sorry, guys. If anyone listening is like, I know exactly what happened and you're wrong, I'm sorry. My details are fuzzy today.
My details are fuzzy too.
Another birthday party is brought into the mix here. There's going to be a surprise party for Shay and Carter,
right?
Which is genius. This is genius. So you each tell your boyfriends it's a surprise party for the other guy,
right? And
everybody knows it's actually for both of them, but neither of them tell each other. It's great.
I loved. Was it Jax when they were talking about? Oh, it was Tom Sandoval when they were talking.
No, say what was so funny about it too, because I want to hear
when
this.
Sheena was like, I've never planned a surprise party until now. And Cinema was like, you still haven't.
Yes. Because actually,
It wasn't a
technically
surprise party. Right, because they both knew they were going to a surprise party.
Right. But I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
It's pretty genius. You knock out 2 parties in one.
Yeah.
Everybody brought out, so there's not just one person trying to pay for alcohol and food and
That's right.
stuff. They could split it.
Right.
Genius.
I loved that it took half a second for Carter to realize that it was a surprise party for both of them, and it took like 7 seconds for Shay to realize what was going on. He was like, "Oh, it's our party."
I would have been confused too.
Yeah, I would have too.
I would have been him.
I would have, me too. 100%.
Like, I'm sorry, are you cheering for both of us? What is happening?
Right. I loved it though. There was a lot of alcohol.
Yes.
I mean, the pouring of the tequila into the kiddie pool.
That was my favorite part. Where do I get this kiddie pool? Kristen, if you could please tweet me where you bought this kiddie pool to fill it with it was like the size of a little bird bath.
Did they salt the rim of the pool?
Yes, they salted it.
Insane.
Details. That's why they're champs. They're champs.
Tweet Megan, Kristen, if you're listening.
Yes, because I've been making all your veggie recipes and I love them, and now I need your pool margarita recipe.
I am hungry.
And where to get the pool.
And starting in 2017, I want more of Kristen's food that you make.
Oh, okay. I made
That was me.
When you weren't here last week, I said I had made the cauliflower one.
Oh, that's right.
Like I know I had promised to make it
And
and
it
bring
smelled,
it in.
right?
But it didn't smell, but it's like if you like cook broccoli or cauliflower or like open up a container of it and it's all of a sudden like the smell of it hits you in the face and I was like, well, we're kind of in the middle of an interview. Yeah, and we're in this tiny little studio and like we're in the middle of an interview and I was like, it's going to be weird. So I didn't bring it in and I ate it all myself and it was amazing.
I loved last week's episode, by the way. I listened from home. It was dynamite.
Good.
Yeah.
When Fern was here.
Yes.
We love Fern's
Love
input.
Fern. Love Jay.
We tried to twist
love
her.
you.
Oh, thank you.
You're wonderful.
We tried to twist Fern's arm tonight to stay with us, and she's like, "I'm sorry, guys, I got an early plane to catch back to the East Coast for Christmas. See
and
ya
you know
later."
she would be here too if she didn't have to.
Yes, but girl is on
She
the
didn't
move.
have to leave.
Stassi, let's bring it back to Stassi. Pops into SUR.
Yes.
She apparently loves going there now that she doesn't have to work there, which I totally see. I can't stand working at my restaurant, but I'd love to go there as a guest. I've been a few times as a guest, and it's fabulous.
I used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to leave when my shift was over.
Yep.
And I would go in when I wasn't working and I would sit and have a meal.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we all get by during our shift with hiding a little wine in the bathroom. What's wrong with that? Stassi wants goat cheese balls and a chopped salad.
Which sounds delicious, by the way.
FYI, I saw on their Snapchats they were trying to make them at home.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, like where and when are they going to post?
I saw that too.
Yeah, I was like, where and when are they going to post the recipes so we can make them? But here's what I think we should do. We'll go to SUR and order it. I'll be like, I'll have the Stassi. So I want like a chopped salad with the goat cheese balls on
Right,
top.
that's right.
I think we should do it.
I think that we should go when we wrap this season's after show.
Yeah, celebratory.
The panel will go. Yeah.
I love it.
That would be fun.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. And I have tried the goat cheese balls and they are amazing.
Do you know what? I live for a pumptini. Live for a
Is it good?
pumptini. It's so good. I mean, it's probably a ridiculous amount of sugar, but it's mixed perfectly. The one I had, at least. The bartender mixed it perfectly.
Yeah,
It was
they're amazing over there.
I had a friend have one, and he was like, I hated it. And I was like, well, maybe they didn't follow the recipe.
I'll have it if you don't like it.
I know. It's like if there's alcohol in it, drink it. Just don't complain.
I haven't been to SUR in ages. Yeah, we need to go.
So Stassi is at SUR to ask Brittany's permission to interview Jax for her podcast.
I want to say, though,
Yes.
before we get into that, I was happy that it was covered about why she's spending so much time at SUR now that she doesn't work there.
Right.
Because I was thinking when they were doing her walk up into the restaurant, I thought to myself, she's really spending a lot of time here. And
Yeah.
2 seconds later,
Yeah.
she said why. So I'm okay with that.
I mean, I think the point is, like, Lisa wants everyone to film at the restaurant as much as possible to promote her businesses.
That's right.
And it's nice to get Stassi back into the fold of SUR, not just having her with her friends outside of the restaurant. Because it gets her more, I feel like it gets her more involved in everything that's going on.
And we can't forget that it's Lisa Vanderpump's show, Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant.
How could I forget? She's in every other scene. But Brittany says something so hilarious when she's talking about, like, oh, Stassi wants to do this she said, from what I hear, he was a real piece of shit. And I'm thinking, like, girl, you didn't, at some point, like, going home and visiting your family, maybe catch up on a few hours of Vanderpump Rules from the past few seasons?
From what I understand, I don't think that she did watch Vanderpump Rules.
And kind of doesn't want to, maybe? To, like, not, like, spoil her vision of who these people she knows in real life, maybe?
I just don't know many people who don't watch the show or don't know anything about it.
I just think if you're going to be on a reality show that's really popular and really already really established, like, I feel like you have to do your homework. That's like a housewife coming on and being like, I've never seen the show. Like, bitch, please.
And I'm in full agreement because they come on and I'm like, yes, you have.
Mm-hmm. I buy it that Brittany hasn't seen it. But to me, I'm like, is she not watching it because she doesn't want to see Jax in a bad light when he was not so nice to Saucy or, you know, other things that he did in other seasons?
I think she is willing to accept the fact that Jax was who he was.
Right.
And I think that she believes that he has changed.
He's a different person, yeah.
And that is who she's with.
And that's really healthy for their relationship. So
I think so too. She doesn't.
Good for her.
She doesn't hold any of his past over his head, and it's healthy.
It is healthy. I guess she reluctantly agrees. It seems like she's fine with it. We come to find out later out, Lisa tells her not to be okay with it.
Right. Meddling. Unnecessary meddling.
I agree. The way Lisa said it, I wasn't into it.
I feel like there's got to be some sort of drama, though.
That's true. I mean, well, it's like we're sending Lisa in every other scene to be involved, and I'm like, we don't need her involved.
She's the mediator.
Yeah. I wish this was called just Pump Rules, and we didn't need her in the show anymore.
What would be more believable is maybe if they, because you know when you work in a restaurant, you tell your manager the silly stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like a Peter role to me.
That's what I was just thinking.
Okay, thank you. We need more Peter.
Who looks great, by the way. I love the short hair.
He looks amazing, but it freaks me out every time I see him because I'm not kidding. He looks exactly like my ex-boyfriend from over 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, a guy I like really loved and like saw a future with, and then we broke up.
And then you see Peter?
And it's startling when I see Peter because I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He looks so much like him. That
Yeah.
freaks me out. Yeah.
Interesting.
Crazy.
I'm going to jump for 1 second when they were doing the walk up to the pool party.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Jax looks more mature than he used to. Like I always thought Jax was attractive. Like early seasons, he was like the beautiful model type, and you've seen like his progression, and he looks like a man now. He looks like he's grown up. And Peter with the short hair, he looks more mature too. And then you see the walk up with Tom Sandoval, who looks like he's dressing 10 years younger than he actually is. Did you
so
see
that stuck out to you?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got, like, the wild flair for the fashion is like all out this year.
I don't love it.
No. Yeah. Jax did seem like way more grown up-ish this episode. It's like he wasn't
he got
in
into the
the
pool.
drama.
Yeah.
He almost seemed like an elder statesman, like that was wise about everything now.
Kristen seemed wise too when she was trying to console Sheena. I'm jumping way ahead.
I know.
Okay.
Well, let's
All right, we'll
get
go back.
into why
Yeah.
everyone's fighting.
Okay.
Let's roll it back to Ariana kind of tries to stage an intervention between Lala and Katie and Sheena. Because it's like, enough is enough. This is all happening at work. Lisa asked me to have you all talk. And since I'm friends with everybody here, I could maybe be a mediator.
Right.
They all go out back to talk. And Lala seems a little defensive. And she's like, look, I've already apologized. So I'm not apologizing anymore. But we get a huge bombshell, which she didn't seem to admit while she was here with us, was that she was playing a game. That making people think that different men who weren't really her boyfriend were her boyfriend to hide who her boyfriend really is. Now, I think if you connect the dots in some interviews she's done and some things out on the internet, that she is dating an NFL player. So she wants to keep that private and I think not detract from his career. And also she told us he has a child and that child's mother was like, please don't bring us into this whole world of your TV world.
That's fair.
Totally fair. But I thought it was like a big bombshell that she's like, yeah, I was letting you all believe it was someone it wasn't, because she was so defensive. So I kind of am a little annoyed. I feel like I got played.
As a viewer or as a host?
As a
Like, because she didn't say anything when she was here.
Both. Like, I can see why they're annoyed because they're like, this whole time we were thinking like you're like a dishonest person, but you were just effing around with us.
I don't know.
And not like I'm mad at her.
No,
just
I
meaning,
know,
like,
I get that.
Now that it's all come out, it's like
Annoying.
Annoying. Yeah.
I think that she doesn't owe these girls anything. They
Okay.
weren't nice to her. They started rumors about her. She was neither confirming nor denying.
That's true. She was neither confirming nor denying. Yeah.
All she said was he's not married.
Yeah.
Or yeah, that's right. He's not married.
I wonder why they were thinking it was different people that it wasn't. Like, that's something we're not filled in on. But I guess it's that whole network of, they were like, oh, we have all these people in common from here, there, and everywhere, and they're saying he's married.
And she said when she was here, and I think she said in last week's episode, they won't provide me with any detail about who this man is that I'm allegedly dating. So if you can't tell me who you're accusing me of dating, you're just saying that is you spreading a rumor about me.
Yeah.
Because you won't tell me who I'm in a relationship with, but we have mutual friends. Who is it? Give me the name.
Got it. Okay. All right. So that's where you're at on that. This to me was a big deal too.
That is where I'm at.
The next step, the next step in this little like talking out back scene was Sheena said she was waiting for Katie to be in a better space to be able to be even cordial with Lala at work. And Katie looks at her and says, don't worry about me. This is where I had a problem with things because the entire season it's been like, no, you have to be on my team and not side with Lala and not even speak to her. Why is she saying don't worry about me when it's always been we're mad at you if you're not turning your back on Lala?
I think so she doesn't look like a crazy person in front of Lala. Like,
Okay.
I think she wants to make it seem like this is no big deal.
Okay.
I'm not giving you the time of day. She is so angry, it seems.
Okay.
I mean, not in front of Lala.
You know what I've been meaning to ask? When this was actually all going on real time, did you know about any of this from any of them that you know in person or no?
I knew nothing about the Katie, Lala
Okay.
hatred toward each other. I
Okay.
just thought it was all residual, we hate Lala from stuff she did last season.
Got it. Okay.
Which
Okay.
I do commend none of them for letting us know that. Like,
Right.
I
They
have,
keep a good secret.
Right. I've hung out with them a small handful of times, but never a peep, not once.
And it's refreshing that they also like keep what happens in a scene from each other, but when they're going to film the next day, like it seems like they're always on these group texts and always talking. And like even we saw tonight, there's so much texting back and forth with each other, but like they will keep from each other what happened in a scene when they have to film another scene tomorrow to keep it fresh. Like that's hard.
I like that too, and I like that because I feel like Lala told us when she was here that exactly what you just said, so I respect that, but I also still find it hard to believe, and it happened tonight where, can I jump ahead for a second?
Yeah.
When Tom Sandoval and Ariana were talking to Sheena, and she said, if this all falls apart for you going to Stassi's birthday, we don't have room for you. Tom Sandoval does this smirk thing. Like, I think he tries not to, it's like his poker face.
Okay.
And I can tell that he's bluffing. Like, I almost know that
That was not true. So that you feel like that might have been like a producer driven storyline?
To me, that was 100% produced.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But I did believe Sheena's reaction where she was like, I know that. Like, I don't, Sheena doesn't strike me as the actress type, but I think that Tom Sandoval tries so hard to have a certain on-camera appearance.
Yeah. Okay.
Just how I feel.
Okay. Back to Lala and the girls trying to work it out.
I have a certain way of veering this train
I know.
right off the track, and I love that you managed to bring it back every
well,
single
we got
time.
to talk it out in order here because a lot happened in order of sequence
That's
tonight. So
And we're only halfway through page 1.
I know this is like I gotta like speed it up
This
here.
is like War and Peace.
It really.
Megan's notes are pages long for tonight's episode.
You know what? Tonight's episode, the sociopath test, we could name it War and Peace if it was a novel. Lala says it was fun acting thing for her to cover up who the boyfriend was, and she's not going to apologize. And Sheena says, well then, thank you for being honest about that. So whatever I've said about you that is not true, I apologize for that.
What is wrong with that?
Right. I thought this was a splendid way to put it. Not like, okay, great, we're friends. Or like, okay, great, let's get cocktails. Or like, okay, great, I can be totally normal around you again. All she did was apologize for saying things that might not be true because they all were spreading so many rumors about Lala that weren't true. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's all she's apologizing for. She didn't say, Katie, now you apologize. She didn't say anything doing with Katie. She just took ownership of her own stuff. And what's wrong with getting along with someone at work? Like, you have to be cordial with people at work. So I think that's all she was trying to do, was broker some peace.
And Katie can't handle it.
Katie was not having it.
Katie was not having it, although Scheana was absolutely right. Katie was having it while they were still at the table.
Well, that's another thing. We never saw how this conversation resolved or what Katie did or didn't say to Lala. It was ended after Scheana apologized, and then we went to a Katie interview clip. So that wasn't really fair to us as the viewer to not find out how this conversation wrapped up.
Really. I wonder if it was done off camera. I mean, it had to have been.
It's like they cut it out. It's like they went from Scheana apologizing to Katie interview portion saying like, have some balls or whatever, like stand up for yourself, have a backbone. And then it was like, oh, okay, we got to go back into work. We were on a really too long of a break. And it's like, no. What happened? What did Katie say? Did Katie say, well, I'm not apologizing, so let's go? Like, I don't know what happened.
And I feel like they can cut all of that nonsense out of the show. Like, we're on the clock right now. We know that you're on a reality TV show.
Right.
This isn't making it any more believable that you know, you're getting in trouble by Peter or Lisa for sitting outside for 5 minutes.
I know.
Like it used to happen where like you're misbehaving at work, you're being dramatic at work in front of customers. You're shooting a reality TV show in a restaurant.
Right.
What do you expect? With a group of 10 that hate each other 9 times out of 10.
A very dramatic group of people.
Right.
Agreed on that. At this very same day, Lisa has a snarky comment for Britt about letting Stassi interview Jax and tells her maybe she should tell her, no, Jax can't do the podcast. But I think Jax is a grown man. If he thinks it's negative for him to do it, he wouldn't want to do it. And Brittany, I don't think he would. If Brittany was like, I don't want you to do it, I don't think he would say, okay.
I think
he's like going to make up his own mind.
I think so too. Jax has always made up his own mind.
Yeah.
Whether if it serves Jax well, Jax will do it.
So they briefly talk about it.
Right.
And he's like trying to say like, don't be jealous of Stassi. There's nothing there
There
anymore.
is nothing there, and I think that was evident. Like they didn't even hug when he walked in. I think that so much time has passed.
Right.
They can tolerate, and like Jax said, it's easier to be cordial than that, and just keep it civil, than to be on their radar. Like just fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Because being on their bad side is a dangerous place to be, I think.
It is. I gotta say, I could never be on this show. Or any reality show, for that matter. Next day, it's all fallout from this meetup in the back alley. Stassi has already texted Scheana in all caps, flipping out on her for daring to apologize whatsoever. Brittany and Jax and Scheana are all at Jax and Brittany's apartment discussing kind of her side of things. And then we've got Katie and Tom and Stassi and Kristen at Katie and Tom's discussing their side.
That's when Kristen walks in and they get her a beer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Scheana is saying that she also mentions how she quit drinking. So I remember I kept pointing out she's never drinking in these scenes. But she wants to have one today, and she's not with Shay because she just needs a drink to like cool down from being ripped a new one over text, I guess. And she says that Stassi's Katie sent her a ton of texts late night too, that she thinks Katie was drinking and Katie started up with the texting. So she's very hurt by that.
I love when Scheana said, what happened between 6 o'clock and midnight that everything changed?
True.
So maybe nothing did happen at the table when they cut to Katie's interview.
Okay. But I mean, what would she have... Yeah, maybe she was like, I just want to go back into work, and nothing happened.
Maybe.
So she wasn't going to apologize either way.
That's right, because Scheana said she wasn't mad when I left. But I think that was probably Stassi getting into Katie's head.
I agree. So Sheena's saying maybe she was drinking, which is leading up to her calling her Tequila Katie again, basically. But yeah, maybe it was just Stassi riling her, being like, I'm this furious. Why aren't you furious?
I think Stassi's more upset about Lala mistreating Katie than Katie is.
Okay, wait.
You
say that.
know when
Okay, say that one more time.
I think Stassi is more upset that Lala is
then
mistreating.
Katie is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, in high school, when if you were to argue with someone, the best friend would come up to you and be like, "Why did you say that to so and so?"
Yes.
He's my friend, or she's my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm kind of like looking at this whole situation.
Okay.
Like, Stassi's the one who's like, she needs to stand up for Katie because either Katie won't do it herself, or I think it looks like Stassi cares way more about all of this than Katie does.
I think you have a point. I want to say, I feel like I don't get the rage behind Lala's comments. Obviously, you guys don't like each other. Obviously, you guys say bad things about each other. But, like, everyone's saying bad things about everyone on both sides. So the fact that Team Katie is so pissed and, like, she says such awful, awful things. It's like, but you guys say awful things about her, too. So I don't really get why they feel like they get to be so mad on their side.
I think they're making it seem like all of their mean things that they're saying about Lala is retaliation,
Okay.
right?
Or retaliation. Okay.
Or justified.
Okay.
Either one. I'm happy with either of those.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that would
Yeah.
that would explain how upset everyone is by the end of this episode. While Team Katie, I guess we should call them, are talking at Tom and Katie's place. First of all, I thought the $50,000 budget thing was like, this budget every week is just going through the roof. And poor Tom is like, are you kidding me? But isn't that something that, like, you have to decide on before things, like, start snowballing? I mean, you're going to have to say to a certain extent, like, we're not sure how much this is going to cost and we're not sure how much that's going to cost, but our cap is... And it seems like they didn't decide on that. Like, Katie's deciding.
I thought that it was decided a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
When they went to go look at the venue, and I think it was $24,000, and Trisha, the wedding planner, said, "Is that okay, Tom?" And Tom said, "No, Trisha, that's not okay," because I think it was very clear that we don't want to spend a ton of money, or I, Tom, don't want to spend a ton of money on this wedding, and I think that they needed to say, our budget is X amount of dollars, make it work.
Yes. That's a good point. I feel like that might work for some brides. I've never thrown a wedding, but
Well-
been a bridesmaid a few times. But
Was it the invitations they were talking? What were they talking about tonight? That was $10,000.
was it the flowers?
Is that what it was?
The invitations were 18 each. I forget.
Make it work. There are ways.
Yeah.
Ways to make it work.
I think that everyone needs a cap, definitely. You know, and then you work on, oh, well, we spent too much over here, or this cost more than we thought, but we can back off on this.
Right.
You know, but yeah, just being like, oh, keep it under 50,000 when your fiance's like shitting his pants. That's probably not a good.
And she really doesn't seem to care. Katie doesn't seem to care that Tom doesn't want it to be as outrageously
She's really
expensive.
all about this wedding. Like, it is her day.
Dare I say,
getting-
Bridezilla?
She's getting very upset with him over him not supporting her in what she wants. But it seems like they're never talking about this before we're seeing it play out on camera. Like, isn't this stuff couples talk about? I don't know. I would think that, like, there's an agreed upon budget. I know some guys back off completely and don't want anything to do with the planning.
That's right.
But there's got to be a coming together on the budget.
There's none.
There can't be a surprise.
No.
Like, honey, we're spending double.
I think it does say something about their relationship, or let me rephrase, the relationship that we see of them on the show.
Yes, I agree, because I think that their real relationship in real life is not at all what we see.
Agreed.
But we're being shown very distinct
characteristics.
We're being shown a lot of them not agreeing.
There's total lack of communication, it seems.
Right. And I don't think this is how their real relationship is, but they caught a lot of that leading up to the wedding. But I think planning a wedding is stressful, and you do argue a lot about things. So we're seeing that.
It's real.
A story. In the midst of that happening, Stassi and Kristen show up, and like we were saying, Katie and Stassi have withheld from her what happened the night before. They're letting her know now on camera. We got in a fight with Scheana yesterday. She has apologized to Lala, to her face, and things aren't good. Lala had a decoy boyfriend. Stassi throws out that we can't trust her.
We can't trust Scheana.
Scheana.
Right.
And Tom, we see Tom getting really stressed out. So Tom doesn't like this girly drama, and it's coming straight to his apartment a few times a week, I feel like. The reaction shot of Tom was great. It lets us know where he's standing in this whole mess.
Not wanting to hang on to Katie's grudges.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing with him. Jax is getting Scheana all fired up, saying, this is a problem with these girls. They all think alike, and, you're out if you don't think like that. And Scheana gets so upset that she cries about it and doesn't want this to ruin the party. I gotta say, it's gotta be so stressful when you're throwing a surprise party for your husband the next day, and the co-birthday boy is the boyfriend of somebody on another side
Yep.
of the argument. I would have knots in my stomach and not be able to sleep, thinking are we gonna pull this off?
Well, they pulled it off.
They pulled it off. Ariana fills in on Lisa on the drama,
Whatever.
the texting and whatever.
Yep.
And then we get to see Stassi. It's apparently the same day.
I wonder if the editors feel pressured, we've got to squeeze Lisa in here. She needs X amount of time each episode, because wouldn't you rather see more of the scenes of the reality?
Yeah.
Than,
I mean, at least they kept it brief.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a bullet point.
I can do the show without Lisa, I'm saying. For sure. They do the podcast at the bar, and Jax claims in a scene, so I don't know if I buy it, but Jax says, I've just come from my house, and Sheena's there, and she's all upset. So right away, we've got Jax spreading the gossip. Jax, our gossip queen, telling Stassi what Scheana said, and she gets very defensive about it. Then they do her podcast, which, did you listen to this podcast when it aired?
To, though.
It's very funny, but Jax almost seems in a bad light when they do the sociopath test thing. But I thought they made it seem light and funny.
They seemed to was it any different on the actual podcast?
It just was a lot more there was a lot of pausing between talking, kind of is this too much? Am I going too far? Are you getting upset? Should we not talk about this kind of stuff? So it was a little dramatic, and I think it's what everybody wanted to hear from her ask Jax. She asked him a lot of questions before they did the sociopath test, why did you do that to me? How could you do that to me? Why did you cheat on every girlfriend you ever had?
Did it seem like he was being honest with his answers?
Not really. It seemed like he was being Jax to me, and kind of like a politician. But, I mean, a little bit honesty.
I liked their when they were doing the test, and she was asking the questions, and before she completed the full question, she laughed because she knew what the answer would be, that it would paint him as the sociopath. And I do have to say, one of my favorite things about Stassi is her laugh. It always makes me laugh. It's a contagious laugh.
My favorite part about this was her saying, "What's wrong with everyone?" I'm like, I don't care if it was written for her. It's so funny.
Did you write it down?
I did.
I did too.
So, according to Stassi, Sandoval is probably a narcissist. Kristen's probably got borderline personality disorder. Ariana has a superiority complex. Katie has anger management issues. Scheana is a hypochondriac, and Stassi claims herself to be an alcoholic. I think this is hilarious. This is what you could say this about anybody in your life. You could point something out that you're like, don't worry about it, because I'm a whatever.
Right. She covered because they all have something, and I loved how they put a a little clip that you couldn't hear the sound, but you knew what episode from seasons past. Like they had when she said Sheena's a hypochondriac. The scene was her with her foot
She was
on
like
the
limping
stool.
around with that cast on. I can't.
And Ariana saying that she was better than Kristen.
Yes. It was so good. I was like, that was
It was perfect.
the best editing. That was really funny.
Stassi sometimes has the best interview quotes. Like
yes, always.
They're my favorite.
She was made for reality TV.
Agreed.
Jax talks about I can't even read my own chicken scratch. Comforting Sheena. I don't even know what. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on. Sheena is so upset at work that she almost cries about not getting along with Katie, and I guess all these texts that are flying in that are upsetting her. Lisa is involved somehow, some way. She's there. Katie does not want to talk about it tonight at work. I'm thinking she's not ready to talk about it at all and is feeling a little ambushed. She doesn't have how she's feeling ready, prepared to talk about. And Sheena says, well, I'm not talking about this with you tomorrow at the party, which I think is also a good idea. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, we're going into the party, none of this having been resolved.
Any of it.
Okay, so we're running out of time and we've got a lot of party.
And you almost know that it is going to happen at the party.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
So the party starts happening. Everybody shows up to set up. It gets a little awkward. We see the boys even discuss in the swimming pool that, like, this is not good. Things are going down. We see Kristen and Sheena go into the house together, and that's Jax's cue to be like, things are going back down the old way they used to be.
I loved the guys in the pool talking. That was one of my favorite scenes of the episode.
I loved it. Isn't it funny to think of like the three of them as like they seem like wiser and more mature right now? It's so funny. Like everybody's just growing up on us.
Well, not everybody.
Well, not everybody. So Kristen and Sheena talk inside. She lets Sheena know it wasn't cool to apologize. Also, Sheena gets the news. I don't know how Sheena really kept it together at this party. Also, Tom and Ariana tell her she can't come to Ariana's party if she doesn't want to go to Stassi's. She can't come to Ariana's because there's a certain number of tickets and everything's already been allotted and she can't come.
Do you think that's punishment?
No, I'm not sure if I buy it that that's real.
That's what I was saying. Right.
And also, if it is real, like, I think she was just like, whatever. Sheena's so into trying to fit in with these girls. Just let her go to Stassi's birthday party. It is sad. So then let's get into like the meat of it. Stassi freaks out on Sheena. Like this was like a real freak out because not only does Stassi get so upset anger-wise, she then cries and practically hyperventilates, crying, locks herself in a bathroom and is on the floor crying. What to you is going on in Stassi's mind? Is it the drinking? I'm not sure why she thought they were being a-holes. They seemed clear-minded and just trying to say, they meaning Ariana and Sheena, just trying to say, here's what happened and here's exactly what was said and you're not even listening to us. Like she got really angry really fast. I think that Ariana's being kind of condescending tone is what set her off to leave and go cry. But I don't think the reaction was called for.
I don't really ever stick up for Ariana, or I've said before, like she in past seasons, I haven't cared one way or the other about Ariana, but I am going to say I didn't think that she was being that condescending when she was talking to Stassi. When Stassi said you're being condescending, I didn't take it that way. Okay. She was getting way too heated for what was going on. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when Sheena was saying, Ariana, can you come here for a second? Will you get out of the pool and join this conversation? Mm-hmm. And Stassi was like, you can't have this, you know, you can't fight on your own, or like you can't stick up for yourself one-on-one. It's like, you need to hear it from someone else who was there. Mm-hmm. Because what I'm telling you, it's all hearsay. Mm-hmm. You're believing what you've been told. Mm-hmm. And I think that Stassi's way is the only way sometimes.
Right. And I think her anger and the emotions spinning out of control came from her usually getting her way in an argument, and she wasn't getting her way. She's got so upset. I think the drinking had a lot to do with it
See,
too.
but I don't know if that's a good excuse because
Not that it's a good excuse. I don't think she would have gotten that worked. I think she would have liked to have talked it out until she was blue in the face and got them to agree with her.
So you said, did you say this on air before we started her tweet from earlier?
I don't think I said it on air yet.
She said,
of course it
lesson
went
one,
away.
don't agree to go up to people to talk after 6 hours of drinking in the sun. Lesson two, be fake
So that
I get a good edit. And then 32 minutes ago, she said, been crying for over an hour. I'm sorry for how this played out tonight.
Okay, that says a lot.
Yep.
I mean, I think that she ended up looking really bad, no matter what her intention was or how it felt to everybody that was there that day. The way it's played out on TV, she looks very in the wrong, or that she really just overdid it. Because she also, in the scenes after that, Katie and Stassi start screaming at Sheena, and she's calling her terrible names. You're a bitch. You're an asshole. And I'm not sure why they screamed at her and said that they don't have the same opinion on Lala. They're like, you're talking bad about us and saying that we have the same mind. And she's like, well, you guys have the same opinion on this. And they're like, no, we don't. And I'm like, yes, you do. Isn't that what this whole fight is about?
It seems like I agree with Sheena. Based on tonight's episode, I agree with Sheena.
Okay. Yes, I think that they're taking their side too far. What I want to say is everybody has their side of the argument and they feel that way for a certain way, and that's fine. I feel like it looked like they took it too far tonight. That's not a nice way to treat somebody that you're calling a friend.
A best friend.
Right. Stassi's really big on the loyalty. So in her world, in her life, that's something that's extremely important to her.
And it always has been.
Right. And maybe there's something that happened in her life that's how she lives her life, and that's fine. Sheena's very comfortable being friends with everybody, and I understand that. So, I mean, it's a lot of deep-rooted stuff going on.
I just don't think that based on what we've seen on air and what happened in the past and what happened tonight on the episodes, it seems like the girls, Stassi, Kristen, and Katie, are sharing an opinion.
Yes,
and they're
it
all
does.
extremely upset with Sheena. Sheena can't do the right thing.
Right.
Sheena wasn't saying I forgive you for what you've done to Katie, all the horrible things that you said to her. You know, Lala, let's be best friends, or like, let's all be friends. All she said was, I'm sorry for my part in what happened in this situation. I'm sorry I said bad things that weren't true.
Exactly.
That period. I don't see what's wrong with that.
Right. I think it's clear to them that what they said tonight is not okay based on these tweets, or that it looks very upsetting to them. The way it played out. But it also seems like maybe they're not getting along with Sheena in real time right now, because I kind of feel like that tweet was about her in reference to like, oh, I should be fake so that I look good in a good edit.
Well, I was with them a few weeks ago. I was with Rachel and Brittany at Brittany and Jax's apartment. Jax was not there. And later on in the evening, Stassi and Sheena came.
Okay.
And
so maybe they are getting along.
They seem to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
well, there you go.
And that was 3 weeks ago, so
there you
I
go.
don't know.
We have an embedded reporter, like I said.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz exclusive.
I should just wear a wire.
Really quickly, a lot of stuff in the promo for next episode. What do you think? Predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What happened in the preview?
Sheena's debating on going on the trip. Is she going or is she not going on Stassi's birthday trip? Is she still going to be a bridesmaid even if this continues? Jax gets another surgery, but we don't know what it is. Lala is coming to Ariana's party, kind of preparing herself for that. And James tries to get his job back with Lisa.
I don't think James will get his job back.
Okay.
Well, I hope that for Lisa's sake, James doesn't get his job back, because I think it was a great move that she fired him, because according to what we've seen, it looks like he should have been fired. I think it would look weak if she brings him back, but I think I would understand if she brings him back because he's their DJ and it's a TV show and we have to incorporate him somehow. So I don't know. And I do think it's lousy if Katie is willing to disinvite or ask Sheena not to be a part of the Bridesmaids crew. It doesn't merit that.
I think they're going to make up and she's going to go on the trip and everything's going to be fine. I'm shocked Sheena would still want to go after this huge argument. I feel like she'd be like, I wash my hands of all of this. But I think she's going to go and still obviously be a bridesmaid. And that's all I can see in my crystal ball.
Do you think it will be a drama-filled episode?
Yes, of course. But we're so excited you guys joined us this week. We'll be back. We're not sure if they're airing next week. Possibly. If not, we'll be here the week after that.
Yes.
To wrap up everything. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy
holidays.
Hanukkah, all that good stuff. Happy New Year. And Matthew Doll, where can they follow you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Matthew E. Payne.
And you guys can tweet me about all this fun drama or whatever else you want to talk about, red carpet related or not, or reality show related or not. I am on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. It's all Megan Stecher. It's MEGANSTECHER. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.